some other folks who are playing here as well, although these two are land enjoyers, to say the least. They both like to go to their locals and farm. Landon and Yoda Cage, two of the most dangerous players in this entire bracket. We're about to throw down, baby. Let's do it.
Obviously, coming from the region Yoda lives in, I'll give him the little spiel real quick. The two top players in Philadelphia as of right now, of course, Yoda Cage and Archangel, right? And Archangel playing the Clairen. Yoda is very versed on this matchup. I was talking to him about it beforehand. I'm like, how are you feeling going in? Saying the biggest thing about this matchup is making sure I'm able to take my time in neutral, especially considering Landon is one of those Clairens, as he specified, that likes to press buttons.
As one should with this character, and in this matchup as well, right? If you're going up against Absa, you know, she's going to be up in the air. And if there is any character that functions well as a fly swatter, Clairen's going to be my #1 pick. So Landon definitely going to be able to control sort of that mid-range game. It's going to be up to Yoda to choose those engagements wisely. No pun intended.
Early, Lightning will be taking that first stock. Yoda keeping things much closer to the ground. Again, trying to dissuade Landon from rushing in all willy-nilly.
Yeah.
But speaking of that, hits him with the willy-nilly, the Clairen up air.
Is that what we're calling it now? The willy-nilly?
You know, if you give it to me right there, I'm going to call it that. I'm sorry.
If you're in the platform fighter community, your combo will have a name, and it will not be like
it will not be pleasant.
It won't have aura. Is all I can say. You know, it's definitely the joke side character that does get to be sick for one fight. All right, but here we go. Yoda Cage right back in there, using a lot of these zips to get out of the corner, which it looks like Landon just has been a little bit passive center stage, right? Has given Yoda the opportunity to, you know, not get stuck back there, but here's Landon fighting back a little bit. Still at 92, though, so any stray aerial can definitely be a huge problem.
Popping the Death Angel offstage means Yoda has free reign to use those clouds if he wants to, which is opting for another low landing back here. Landon keeping himself up open, you know, not really starting that shield or grabs as much, you know, taking full advantage. Get into this final stock here. Landon trying to force this advantage here on the ledge, but Yoda gets back essentially for free.
Woo! Good drift away right there. Nice spacing by Landon, too. Tried to call out the jump from Yoda Cage, possibly to retreat back to that platform, but no such luck. Yoda Cage is not one to run away. This is a character that it can go both ways, but if you're Yoda Cage, you're going in and you're also pressing buttons. And Landon right now, at least matching that in kind, putting on some damage, but not finding a lot of these kill confirms. That's not been a problem for Yoda.
Going to cash that landing air on top of that juice platform, rushing it down, not going to find the connection there on the forward strong, but a dash tag, going to catch the landing, teching back in place, forward throw into F strong. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Keep on doing, well, the balancing decision too. If it's broke, don't fix it either. Wow, okay. And the snipe from Yoda Cage there off stage, nothing you can do when you're still in hit stun, obviously, so just get carried right into the blast zone, and Absa stocks are up, baby. This character has been performing real darn well at this tournament.
The thing about the way Yoda is framing this, a lot of times, obviously, Clairen is a really good character for anti-airing, obviously, right? When Absa typically wants to float around that mid-ish range, trying to set up like landing airs, like a landing near, some drag downs, some nonsense like that. Yoda's like, okay, I'm going to keep this mostly towards the ground. Anytime I go a little bit higher, I've got that cloud there, kind of like keep you back, saying, no, give me some space. Please relax.
Yeah, I mean, Absa's all about forcing discomfort, right? Like, that's what the clouds do. That's what her aerial drift does. She's got all of these, you know, quick aerials that can trade with you very easily. Landon right now feeling the heat off stage, but pulling off some phenomenal moves to recover. Held a little bit too long on that up B, so it does take some extra damage. Does take some hits to get back to center stage, but man, great tech chase there by Yoda Cage. And again, we see another one of those tools designed to just make you a little uncomfortable. And man, I mean, you want to talk about uncomfortable,
Oh my goodness!
Landon hasn't been able to land on stage and do anything of his own volition for the past 40 seconds. And meanwhile, it's Yoda Cage running this house.
That entire chain came from Yoda dropping down underneath the platform, setting up that ticking cloud. So Landon was forced to drop off the ledge to find that falling up air, which forced him into that entire chain of events. Yoda Cage is playing on a different level, not solely of maximizing his own damage, maximizing, like you mentioned before, Landon's uncomfortability.
Yeah, I mean, just sundering all defenses, right? There's just nothing available to you when you're being just battered by this Absa in front of you. And that up tilt going to lead to another big conversion. Tall blast zones on Julesville going to keep Landon alive. But again, opting to get off this ledge very quickly. And Yoda's got those timings covered. Finally landing that F-Strong just to cleave through that Absa. But now has to deal with that invincibility, and being down 111%, never a comfortable place to be.
Once again, Landon burning that counter off stage, so they have access to it on stage. Obviously, isn't going to be the most applicable most of the time. It's sitting up like a cloud every like 10 seconds or so, but you're leaving yourself so open.
No.
Once you get back on the stage, Yoda's got you back in the blender, and it's just a really scary situation to be in. Landon makes it out though. He's fine.
Tried to grab, thought that Yoda cage would land in front where the up tilt might have been able to connect there. A couple of missed opportunities for extra damage from Landon that have caused some real problems. The Absa going back off stage, now opening up perhaps an opportunity, but not going to find that combo. Man, Yoda's combo DI has been really good.
Now waiting out Landon's approach here. The F cell coming out, not going to find the F strong. A double hit there on the cloud, forcing Landon off stage again. Downer comes out. The Zip not going to connect into the up air. And then at 100%, you're looking for a singular conversion or just a parry into an up strong, which won't do it. But he's on his last legs of this stock.
Goes for the up strong, but it doesn't tip her. If it did, Absa's so light that it almost certainly would have taken that stock off the top. Still Landon playing very carefully, trying to find a conversion, but again, no tipper to be found. This one's gonna connect, but again, no tipper to be found. The spacing is just a little off.
Not going to find that grab there. Landon getting off another forward throw into forward strong. The bread and butter. Do you even call it bread and butter that time? It's just butter. You know,
it is literally just butter. Shout out to Nabil. my boy Neptune, miss you, dog. Put some butter on that. Ooh, Yoda Cage messing up that edge guard, giving Landon one more chance to get back on stage and start chopping up this Absa with this plasma sword. We're going beast mode right now. 56% means that you're in danger of dying. I can't believe I have to say it.
Waveland on that ledge gives you a perfect opportunity back in the driver's seat, dropping down with that low cloud. Gets back to the ledge with the zip. Fourth throw isn't going to do it, of course. Thinking that high cloud, forcing Landon going immediately back to ledge, but challenging with that reversal back air. That little way still hanging on. Landon trying to make it back with the ledge hug. Is going to close it out. Yoda staying calm and collected in those last moments, taking that game too.
Calm and collected indeed, because I think a lot of people in that situation, when they start falling behind, they want to bring the game back immediately. They want to try to do everything on immediate timing, and Landon was trying to go for that low recovery to call out Yoda Cage, looking for another high recovery, which we saw so many times from Landon, but power of observation remains unmatched. If you can see it, you can do it.
That's not motivational, actually.
I think I got that from Initial D, I can't lie.
We're getting a little...
Oh, no!
Hold on.
I didn't get that from Initial D.
That one I would have guessed.
People don't get spiked into the ground by big clouds in Initial D? What? Actually, that low-key happens in 5th stage, but beyond that, anyways, game number 3, Landon switching up the stage to try to bring this one back. Instead, humongous reversal by Yoda Cage right there. Again, you go up against a player of Yoda's caliber, you cannot give them an inch because they will take it a mile. We've seen that from B-Bats this weekend, and Yoda Cage showing he is also capable of doing just that.
So Landon finally back in the drive stage, hoping to make that count, playing around that Merchant Park side platform. Dragged down from that Absa there. Now Yoda trying to bide his time, slowing things down, utilizing that Landon kick on the cloud again to force Landon to overextend. To catch him back off stage, you gotta respect the Absa on this ledge. Yoda Cage just thrown time and time again. Yes, obviously you have the discourse to catch Absa off stage, but Yoda he's been able to play around that.
I really think that Landon just hasn't been respecting the clouds, that down strong. Not going to be able to take it even. Yoda's DI absolutely perfect to the blast zone. Coming all the way back on stage. Those zips are active. Just Landon looking pretty uncomfortable in this matchup, I've got to say.
Able to make it back. He's going for that high recovery and parrying that jab like the cherry on top. Landon, of course, trying to give back. Finally, that landing nair will do it. But down a full stock, down 2 games. Landon is fighting for his winner's side life right now.
It's all got to come down to adaptation now, because I think that Landon really just needs to get a better idea of, where you are and aren't allowed to engage with Absa. And not only is he, making a couple of punishes that are leaving him pretty open, but also missing a couple of punishes. I mean, when Absa's throwing out that cloud, she can't do anything but control that cloud. And that's an opportunity where, with Clairen's run speed and air speed, you can definitely get in there and start punishing Yoda for a lot of these long distance. Even that right there, right? Cloud's coming up on your shield, parry's an available option. We just haven't seen any counterplay to it yet from Landon.
Yoda getting back on from ledge, throwing up that cloud immediately, but Landon wanted to respect it a little bit that time. Again, learning his lesson, of course. The neutral special, oh my goodness! Hard DI out to avoid a second forward. You're not going to find that sweet spot. Still just barely hanging on towards this ledge. Not going to find the jump away from the corner from Landon. Biding his time, not going to get over aggressive. Not going to find the willy-nilly. Oh, but the... I don't even know what we're going to call that one.
The double chop?
Double chop, sure.
He looked like a Garchomp. Cha-cha. I'll use my worst Dragon Claw. All right, Tech Chase up on the platform. Good drift away there by Landon, but still needs to get those big openings. Yoda Cage, we've noted that DI has been fantastic. Not only just for living, but also for that DI as well, to not take that damage. And meanwhile, Landon is trying to build up that damage. Again, start looking at these 60%. One wayward grab, and this could definitely be his game. I love the side B right there to reversal the situation. Even better tech from Yoda.
Down, getting a little over-aggressive, rolling to that shield with the back air, gets called out. Fry the back throw into the forward strong. Landon, like you mentioned perfectly, oh my goodness.
Did you see Yoda Cage just went, okay.
Yeah, yeah. You know,
Landon was like laughing, Yoda just went, does not look happy about how that ended.
You went short, dude. That's fine. I was gonna say, like you mentioned specifically earlier, Kimona, I think the biggest issue Landon had before was not respecting clouds. Towards the end of that game, we saw some more ideas come to life. Specifically when he was on ledge, he utilized that right directly on ledge, utilizing the counter there, so Yoda couldn't drop the clouds right in front of him. This small little counterplay like that tried to dissuade Yoda from just pressing the cloud button because he can.
And you have multiple ways to counter it, right? Like you can either, go for a parry, you can avoid them altogether, but I think what you're touching on is exactly right, that Landon's figured, hey, if I just stay in a range where Yoda can't feel comfortable enough to throw out a cloud, then that's the ideal situation, because what's that quote, that true power is actually deterrence, not, just beating somebody up? If somebody's too afraid to even pick a fight with you, that's true power.
You definitely don't want them feeling comfortable enough throwing out their projectile right in front of your face.
Ooh, you dead? Okay, we tried to customize it. Again, another cloud reversal right there off the ledge. Still something Landon's trying to get used to, but combo DI also getting better. This is where things are going to start to be a problem. If that Absa gets above like 110, you're not going to have a lot of conversions available, and that means that the arthritis is going to start kicking in, but not this time. Jab into F-Strong. Haven't seen Yoda Cage be able to get away from those combinations, but Landon on the other side can't get away from Yoda Cage at all.
Another line coming out, keeps catching Landon's bluff. He's been sitting on ledge at that same specific range of trying to catch Yoda in that F-Strong range, and Yoda calling it out in a strong way. Now Landon, of course, will be a little bit more aware of how Yoda's dashing back around, going to catch that grab. You scare him into shield, you run up, you up throw, the classic combination.
The spacing on these jabs from Yoda Cage is what's really getting me, because if it was F-1 like that, I'd be like, well, yeah, that move's humongous. But the jabs have been so well spaced, and Yoda Cage finding a lot of value out of it. Cloud Detonation not going to find a connection. Landon's got to go the long way to ledge. Finally gets back, got a little bit greedy there, and again, here comes the ledge trap with the cloud opening up so much space for Yoda once again. That's got to be it.
Yeah, that down throw sending at the most nefarious of angles. Now Yoda Cage up once again.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, okay. You can't let him get away with that for free. Landon's like, okay, I will shield at the ledge, or I will parry. I'll do something defensive at the ledge. I got you, dog.
And again, a couple of drop combos right here. Yeah, like Landon, finally solving some of these riddles, and I think the next one is, when am I allowed to engage? Because there are a lot of whiffed moves that Landon's trying to get in on that Yoda Cage, seeing it right here, is getting a lot of value out of. Here we go. Good DI again by Yoda Cage. Defense has been so good.
And then getting more aggressive here towards the... Oh,
wow.
My God. That was stinky. Last talk scenario here in Game 4. Landon still fighting tooth and nail to stay in this winner's bracket. Daenerys keeping you back, keeping Yoda Cage at a safe distance with that cloud, putting you in the ugliest of areas. He still makes it back.
This could be it, though.
The zip into the up air, and that's going to close it out. Yoda Cage taking it Game 4 and moving on into winner's side, top 8.
Major league player there from Philadelphia, showing you exactly why he can do it. Yoda Cage putting on a show with that Absa. Again, like great stage pick right there, obviously, but also just, really, really solid gameplay. Brought a lot of tools to the table. We saw Landon make some great adaptations, but Yoda Cage was also able to, kind of counter around that, be able to adapt that game plan, analyze what was going on, and then apply himself in different ways. And I think that's, again, one of those marks of a really, really good player, that they don't just have the one game plan to play around. They have the full toolkit at that disposal.
Yeah.
And I never really saw, Yoda Cage